What is up, guys? Welcome back. It's Steve. Welcome back to my channel. We are going over Turo or your rental car fleet and how to make it run as smoothly as possible in 2021 and beyond. How's that? If you guys are new to Turo or just any of this period, Turo is a car sharing platform. It's like Airbnb for cars. You can also do the same thing on Avail, Get Around, Hire a Car. There's even another one, Share, all doing the same thing. So if you guys are just thinking about getting into this and you're not quite sure what you want to do, if you want to do it, what it's going to cost, I'm going to give you 3 things that could possibly be an extra expense that you didn't think about initially right off the bat when you were thinking about getting into this. Before we get into this, if you guys need anything at all, definitely check the description below. There's courses, there's ways to get a hold of me, there's Harleys rolling down the street. Get it. So there's definitely ways to get a hold of me and ways to basically make everything run as smoothly as possible for you guys with basically learning from the lessons and the mistakes and all that I have already made, that we've already made in the past 5,000 plus trips. So here we go. A couple things that you might not think about getting into this. If you're gonna do contactless check-ins, there's multiple ways to do it. Lock boxes are gonna be a thing that you may not have thought about. If you have an older vehicle and you have the Tesla app or the Mercedes app or any of these apps where you can do it all from the comfort of your home on your phone, then you might have to go the route of the lockbox. These things work great, but it is an added expense. I think the lockboxes that I use are basically 30 bucks, 35 bucks a lockbox, and you can buy them in bulk, multiple lockboxes, and it's gonna give you a little bit of a discount. So that part is nice, but it is something that if you're not really thinking about, it will add up. Make sure you buy at least 1 or 2 extras because, you know, when you start adding cars, or you get a knucklehead that decides he needs your lockbox more than you. Yes, this actually does happen, or, you know, it did happen to me, or hopefully you don't have somebody that goes through and changes the combos on there, but that's a whole nother story. So make sure you have an extra one just in case, and along with these lockboxes, you're gonna have the Faraday bags. These Faraday bags are radio frequency blocker. It's a bag that you put your key fob inside if the car is not quite new enough to have a, you know, remote unlock system, but you do have that key fob that still just unlocks as you walk up to the car. You can put this key inside this bag and this will block the radio waves, so that way you can either lock the car with the keys inside when they return the vehicle, or you can have it in this bag in the lockbox and you can't open the door while the key fob's right there on the window. Or one way to go about it. Now, if you do want to go the more expensive way, obviously you can get the Viper, you know, ignition kill switch, all that stuff. You can get these kill switches installed, as well as it has everything from your phone. So basically, as long as you have Wi-Fi, you can start, stop, kill the car, unlock the car, whatever you need to do with this car. And that is definitely a lot more expensive. So it all depends on which way you want to go with it. If you are running more luxury cars, yes, I get it. Sports cars, you may want that system, only for the mere fact that if somebody doesn't bring it back and you want to be able to kill it in place, you know what I mean? Obviously not while they're driving, but kill it as soon as they stop, and now you know exactly where the car's at and how you can go recover that car. So figure out which way you want to go with that and be ready for that expense. The next thing I will say is trackers. So I know a lot of people, we'll just say there's a debate with it. Trackers work really well for if you are doing remote check-ins, somebody says, hey, the car's back, and they don't upload pictures, and you're like, no, it's not. You're still an hour and a half away. So you can track it that way. It does make it nice for that reason. Another reason to have a tracker is when somebody makes claims about you, about your vehicle, saying, hey, it left me stranded, it did this, it did that. You can, boom, okay, where at? What time? Where did all this happen? Where did it take place? And let me look it up. And then as soon as that happens, they tell you a date and time. You can pull it up and say, nope, looks like you had no problem doing excessive speeding, but the car never did leave you stranded. So this will help you out, especially when it comes time to, they make those false allegations against you and you can pull it up. Turo's just gonna say, hey, do you have proof? And you can, boom, slap it there, email it to them, and that's done. Like, there's no question about it. and most likely those guests will be booted. So there are a couple tracking systems that you can do. You can do those hardwire ones, just like the remote check-in. You can do the Viper ones or those hardwired ones where they install it and it doesn't plug right into the OBD2 port. These are nice because honestly, it's just like Mercedes or Tesla. It's built into the car, it's in the system. There's no way you can really tamper with it. They do run a little bit more out of the pocket, but it's worth it. The other route you can go are simple Bouncy. Verizon has their system that you can actually do. They actually have one you can sign up for a contract and they will come and hardwire them into your cars. Vinx is another one that plugs right in just like the Bouncy. And what I would recommend if you guys do this, get the little pigtail, get the extension so that way you can plug it in, zip tie it on there, make it to where it's extremely obvious that you had to go through measures to disconnect this and hide it. Put it farther up in the dash, whatever you have to do, but get rid of it to where it's not in plain sight. So you're not seeing this thing plugged straight in right there by your knee. And I'll tell you with this stuff, it keeps the honest people honest. We had plenty of people that as soon as they saw these things, and we knew, as soon as we gave them the keys to the car, we're like, oh yeah, you're gonna be trouble. As soon as they got it, half hour down the road, all of a sudden, boom, pulled it. And it's as simple as that. If it's not secured to the vehicle or if it's not hardwired in, you can simply pull it out and there you go. You lost your car. Not saying that you lost it for good, but they definitely are doing some stuff that they didn't want you to know about. I know some people will do it just because they don't want you to know where they're at or what they're doing with the car, but regardless, like I said, it's keeping the honest people honest. The ones that know it's there, they're not really gonna care. The ones that see it there and they pull it, obviously they're up to something that's not too good. So there are ways to track all this stuff and get all this stuff installed into your vehicle. It's just a matter of which way you want to go about it. And I guarantee everybody's gonna be like, oh, I don't really need a tracker, I'm not too worried about it, this and that. And then the first time the guest doesn't bring the car back on time, then they're just like, well, where do I go? What do I do? How do I handle this? How do I get my car back? So just think about it. It's one of those things. You can get it right now and be done with it so that way you don't have to worry about it later. Now, I don't really worry too much about what people are doing in my cars. It just makes it really simple and really nice when somebody brings it back and forgets to upload pictures. Maybe they brought the car back earlier and now it's coming up on that half hour, 2 hour mark where you're like, hey, you're gonna bring this car back, but you're not over there to go check it in because it's late at night. And now you're just like, well, shoot, now I have to go over there to make sure the car is actually there or go check it in, go do what you have to. No, you can just pull it up on your phone and say, oh, there it is. I'm not worried about it, go check it in tomorrow. So that's gonna be one of the other main expenses that you actually see with it. The other one that you're gonna see is gonna be kind of nickel and dime, and it's just simple things like, for me out here in the desert, I got sunshades for the windshield right here. Because let's face it, 120 degree weather, it makes it 160 in the car, and it's like trying to grab something out of the oven without oven mitts as soon as you grab that steering wheel. It's bad, it's so bad. So that's one of the things that I grab is sunshades or cloths, put them over the steering wheel. It sounds ridiculous, but trust me, depending on where you're at, this may be something you need, but your area might require something else. Something else to give that little extra touch that just makes it easier for your customers that come in and rent your cars. Those sunshades, they're only about 14 bucks a piece, but you can see as you grow your fleet, this could start adding up. I don't go anything super expensive, nothing super fancy, just the ones that unfold, throw them up there, and it just blocks the sun. It gets that immediate direct contact from the sun and that magnifying glass through the windshield onto the steering wheel or the seatbelt, because let's face it, we've all been branded by that seatbelt that's just burning hot. Or those leather seats for you guys that have the short shorts burning your legs. That's not a fun feeling at all. So that's another expense, and this is mainly dealing with like some of the older cars. So like my older cars, another thing that I did along with the sunshades was fender clips. I got just an assortment of fender clips, and these things stay with me at all times. Yes, I know, I get it, it's because my cars are older, but it make it to where I can fix any kind of fenders that are hanging down low or just something happens, those things break, they're plastic, it's out here in the sun, they dry rot, they break, it happens. But that way I can have everything up to speed and up to, satisfactory, up to something that I would want to rent myself at a moment's notice. So if I go in and I check in a car, boom, pop it in real quick. Yes, it's not going to be, I'm not going to charge the guest for it because, really, why would I? So it's one of those things that 25-cent clip, fix it real quick. So those are kind of some of the things that I use personally. The other thing that you are going to have to worry about is cleaning products, towels, all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, those are the three main things that I would say to wrap your head around before you get into Turo. So I hope this helped you guys out. Like I said, in the description below, I got a list of all the products I use and all the products that I did not tell you guys about, but those are the main ones for right now that you may need to think about. Definitely stick with it. Man, I will tell you right now, a little sneak peek. Holy smokes, this month is going well so far already. It's blowing all the other months out of the water. So hopefully you guys are doing the same thing. I will definitely get you guys end of the month, and shoot, it's only the 10th. And we'll just say that I'm already doing better than I did the previous months. So stick around, more videos to come, and more tips and tricks to make everything run as smoothly as possible. And it sounds like a whole lot more playing going on behind me with this nicer weather that we're having out here in Arizona. So catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Later, y'all. Keep grinding.